I recently hit 70 platinum trophies, and while I genuinely love most of the games on this list, a few of them had trophies that made me sit back and go, why am I doing this to myself? So in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 great games that have a bad platinum experience. And man, this took some soul searching. One of these games is maybe one of my top 5 favorite games of all time, but each of these platinums has something. Some poorly thought out, tedious, or just straight up cursed trophy that kind of ruins the whole experience. And to be clear, I don't mind hard platinums. I love the challenge of Super Meat Boy, Splasher, Jump King. All of those games made me want to scream, but I had a great time doing it. The trophies that I hate are the ones that are annoying, or broken, or both. So here are 5 platinum trophies that broke my spirit just a little bit, starting with Guardians of the Galaxy. I was so bummed to put this game on the list because I really ended up enjoying it. I went in with 0 expectations and came out loving the story, the characters, and even the gameplay. Maybe this is a hot take, but I actually ended up liking this more than Spider-Man. So what exactly went wrong? Well, this was a case of bungling the collectibles. This is probably pretty common. I think most people have a game or two where they screw up the collectibles and kind of ruin the experience, but this was that game for me. This happened to me during the Fashion Passion trophy. For this one, you have to collect and equip every outfit in the game. It sounds fine, but if you miss one, too bad. Chapter select doesn't help you, there's no post-game cleanup, you just have to restart the game. And I did, because I missed one. It was like 2/3 of the way through, and by the time I realized it, there was no salvaging the run. Now to be fair, this was totally my fault. I didn't use a collectible guide on my first playthrough because I wanted to enjoy the game without having to pause every 5 minutes to check YouTube. But I also didn't realize that missing a single outfit would lock me out of the platinum. What's extra frustrating is that the other collectibles in the game are super forgiving. For the Lore Hoarder trophy, you only need to find 65% of lore items. Like, that's reasonable, that's great. So clearly someone on the dev team was thinking about quality of life. They just forgot to apply that logic to the outfits. I don't mind collectible trophies, I actually kind of like them, but give me chapter select. Give me some wiggle room. Let's mop things up without replaying 8 hours of a game I already finished. Games like Uncharted and Spider-Man get this right, whereas Guardians, not so much. This is really the only game on my entire platinum list where I screwed up the collectibles this badly and soured the experience, but I know there are a lot of games like this. So let me know which game had you questioning your sanity due to a bad collectible experience. Luckily, there were no collectibles in the next game, but there was something even worse. A nightmare UI in Team Sonic Racing. This is another one where the game itself is pretty good. It's a solid kart racer. It's got a couple of cool team mechanics that make it feel different than Mario Kart, and the adventure mode is surprisingly fun. Most of the trophies are easy enough, just complete races, earn stars, do a few challenges, pretty smooth sailing. I actually think it's the easiest ultra rare platinum on my entire list by quite a good margin. Just a ton of people got this game and never bothered to platinum it, but it's not too hard. That is until you hit one trophy, a friend in speed is a friend indeed. All you have to do is beat a friend's ghost in time trial mode. On paper, that sounds totally fine. Sounds like something every kart racer has done at some point. But here's where it goes off the rails. You can't select a friend. There's no pick a friend from your list option. There's no search function. There's no filter. The only way to find a friend's ghost is to scroll manually through the global leaderboards and hope they're somewhere nearby. You can jump to your own time, but that only helps if your friend posted a time very close to yours. And these times go to the 1,000th of a second, so good luck finding them that way. I actually thought this was going to cost me the platinum. I'd done everything else, but this one stupid social feature was holding me hostage. Eventually, I gave up trying to find an actual friend and just started sending friend requests to random people who were a few places above me on the leaderboard. One of them added me, I beat their ghost, and the trophy popped. It was done. So at the end of the day, this wasn't particularly hard once I developed this strategy, but man, some of the clunkiest UI I've ever seen. What an ugly solution to this problem. The depths that I had to go to get this trophy really made me laugh, but it's nothing compared to the next game, Tetris Effect. I love this game. It might be one of my most proud platinums on my entire list. The gameplay, the music, the visuals, everything about it feels good. Some of the trophies are absurdly difficult, but they're fair. You just need to get really, really good at Tetris. And I did. I grinded out high scores, I climbed ranks, I mastered all the different modes, I felt like a Tetris god. And then I looked at the Spin Artist trophy. It wants you to rotate pieces 1 million times. Let me say that again, 1 million rotations. By the time I finished everything else in the game, I was around 200,000. That's after doing literally everything else, so I was only 20% of the way there. So I sat down and I did the math. I wanted to see how long this was going to take. I threw on a TV show and mashed the X button for a half hour and made almost no progress, maybe 3,000 spins. At this point, I really had to do some soul searching. Was I really about to commit myself to diligently mashing the X button during all of my spare time over the next couple of months, or was I going to bail on this platinum that would be one of my greatest achievements? Ultimately, I decided to split the difference. I bought a turbo controller that automatically matched the X button for me. Once I did this and confirmed that it was working properly, the trophy popped after a few hours. But man, what a ridiculous exercise. It's definitely one of the trophies that I had to go to the farthest lengths to get. But at least I was able to eventually get that trophy. I can't say the same for one of the trophies in the next game, Shadow of War. This one will be short, and it's because it's the only trophy in my entire list that is bugged out on me to the point where I couldn't get the platinum. For the trophy Peace in Death, you need to complete the endgame content of Shadow of War. It's a fairly long grind where you need to complete 20 sieges to reclaim all of the forts in the game. I did this, and nothing happened. I refought many sieges, and nothing happened. I thought it might have to do with the additional DLC forts, so I bought the DLC, beat those forts, and nothing happened. I posted on Reddit, the PSN Profiles forums, and nobody had any suggestions. So ultimately, I just gave up. Realistically, I know that if I started a new file and played through the entire game again, I would guess that I would have better luck and avoid the bug, but after around 50 hours in the game, I just didn't have it in me to do it all over again, so I let it be. Luckily, it seems like this bug doesn't happen to a ton of other people. The Peace in Death trophy is pretty common, but this one will always stand out to me as a glaring hole in my collection. And that leads us to our final frustrating trophy, and this one hurts. Slay the Spire is probably my favorite game of the last decade. No exaggeration. It's basically created an entire genre. I've put way more hours into this game than I want to admit, and I think it's brilliant. Just so well designed. But I have to admit that some of the trophies for Slay the Spire rely so heavily on RNG that the Platinum journey became too frustrating. There are a lot of trophies that require so much luck and perfect timing that they become massive headaches. The one that was toughest for me was Neon. For this trophy, you need to channel 9 plasma in a single turn. If you don't know the game, orbs are this character's whole thing. There's lightning, frost, darkness, and plasma is the rarest. So to get this trophy, you first have to get lucky enough to get access to some cards that channel this plasma. But that's not enough. In order to channel 9 in a single turn, you need a bunch of other specific cards that can help you pull off this combo. Basically, you have to have several lucky breaks while also just trying to survive the game. It took me so many runs to get this done. Not because it was that hard, but because it was random. Just pure blind luck. And that kind of design, where you know exactly what to do, but can't do it because the stars didn't align, that's a super frustrating feeling. And the thing is, Neon is just one of these RNG trophies. I personally found this one to be the hardest, but I know other people have really struggled with trophies like Minimalist, where you need to beat the game with 5 cards or less in your deck. That's another one where on some runs, you're just not going to have the option to remove enough cards from your deck, and you just get unlucky. Now, I know there are a ton of other games that have trophies with RNG elements. Returnal is a good example of this. I really like Returnal, but there's a trophy here where you just need to get lucky and have certain collectibles drop in your runs, and they're really rare. It's funny, in these clips where you see me picking up these RNG trophies, you can see that I immediately quit out of the run once I get them. I'm just so done. But for some reason, this didn't quite bother me as much as in Slay the Spire. I think it might be because of the sheer number of RNG trophies in Slay the Spire, or maybe my expectations are just insanely high for such a great game. But yeah, overall, I was disappointed with the Slay the Spire trophies, and that's a huge shame. So yeah, that's the list. 5 trophies that almost made me hang up my controller. Some of them were my fault, some of them were just bad design, but all of them were enough to make me ask, is this really worth it? And I like that we're kind of identifying a few categories here. Collectibles, bad UI, time sinks, buggy trophies, and RNG. If you've got any trophies that drove you up the wall, I'd love to hear about them. I'm sure there are some nightmares out there that I don't know anything about, and maybe you'll help me avoid them forever. Either way, thanks for watching, give me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you next time. Bye!